Yo, what's up movie people? I hope you're doing well. This is going to be my review of the new A24 film, Past Lives. So let's get right to it.
혜성! 와, 너다.
Alright, so I went into this movie pretty much blind, so I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what the plot is, so you guys can also go in blind too, have a great experience. Plot follows Nora and Hae-sung, two deeply connected childhood friends, are ripped apart after Nora's family immigrates from South Korea. Decades later, they are reunited for one fateful week as they confront destiny, love, and the choices that make a life. Alright, so this film is something that I've been really anticipating, I saw the first trailer a while back, and I didn't see much footage for it in the weeks coming up to when I actually did watch it. I saw it last night, and so I was very, very excited for it because this one's getting rave reviews. It's of course A24. A24 is a legendary studio. They had Everything Everywhere All at Once from last year, which won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. Loads of Oscars last year. They deserved it for that. But A24 is back this year, and it has Past Lives. And let me just say, this movie hit me harder than a truck going 100 miles per hour. It left me physically and mentally drained after I left the theater. I said this in my little Twitter review that I do. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't, link in the description. But this movie really hit me harder than any other movie I've seen in a long time. The only really same thing I could compare it to is Banshees of Inisherin from last year, even though it's like not really similar plot wise. It's kind of similar emotional wise, but I feel like this movie just affected me so much more. It's probably the most emotional movie that you're gonna watch this whole year, because there's nothing that's gonna come close to it, because this movie is just full of emotions from the start. And man, that ending really got me. It got me just so depressed in a way, but wanting to enjoy life more, wanting to enjoy relationships that you have built for, because that's what life is all about: building relationships, just having a great time with people that you're connected with, in my opinion. So this film is directed by Celine Song, and I've looked through her IMDb, and I'm pretty sure this is her first major motion picture. So I was actually really surprised when I saw that, but I think that she did a beautiful job with this movie, an excellent job, because the movie is just so beautiful, and the way it's crafted, I feel like it can resonate with everyone, even if you haven't had a big emotional connection with another person that you haven't seen for years on years, like the people in this movie. It's just emotional film about relationships and how they can affect your life going through it, and how you think of those people after years you haven't seen them. The film stars Greta Lee, who plays Nora. Taeyu Yo, I might have butchered his name, but I didn't mean to. He plays Hae-sung, and John Magaro, who plays Arthur, which I do know him from Overlord, which is a pretty crazy film if you want to go watch that one. Greta Lee is also from Across the Spider-Verse. I think she played the Oscar Isaac's little AI friend in that movie. So she's having a good June also. Everyone here brought their immense acting skills and just showed them in this movie, Greta Lee, she's just an absolute star in this movie. She got me so emotional in the final scene, because it's one of those scenes where I can't even talk about it, because I don't want to leave you guys spoiled for what you could eventually see, because it's such a heartbreaking scene in my opinion. And Taeyu Yo, he's excellent in this movie. This is the first time I think I've ever seen him in a movie. He's excellent. And John Magaro, I think he's also excellent. He has a little bit of a smaller role, but it's a pivotal role of who he plays in this movie. And as I said, the cast is all excellent. And it's early season for Oscar, talking about Oscars, but I feel like they could all be nominated. And Greta Lee, I feel like she is the best performance by an actress this year so far. She really shines in this movie, and I don't think there has been an actress that shined this much so far this year. But as I said, we're only 5-6 months into the year, so we have a long way to go. But I feel like Greta Lee has officially gotten a nomination. I'm gonna say it. She's gotten a nomination so far. If she doesn't, down the line in February and March, then that will be it would be a robbery. This film is emotional, as I said. If you cry during movies easily, you're gonna cry during this one even more easily, I think. I didn't cry at all, but on the drive home from the theater, I actually did shed a few tears because just thinking about the movie and what it's trying to convey, it's just so sad and just so depressing. I mean, during the film, I was just so monotone. I was really invested with the characters and I was really feeling the emotions that the characters are feeling at the same time. So the emotions did get to me a lot. It really just downed me. The whole movie drained me, as I said. So that's what they tried to convey, and I think it works a lot. I think it's going to work for everyone who sees it. It might not be everyone's type of movie, but I feel like the emotion will get to everyone if they see it in the theaters or at home. I think you should all go see it in the theaters because it's definitely worth the ticket price. I just am blown away by the emotions that this movie caused me. It just made me think in a different way than any other movie has this year. It made me think of a what if, because this movie is really conveying what if that happened? What if something else has changed in their relationship? And then what would happen, you know? And it kind of talks about that, but it also talks about past lives. Like what could we have been in the past life? What could this relationship have been in a future life? You know, if you're married, if you're friends with someone, what could a different relationship be for you guys in a past life or a future life if something changed down the line or something changed back in the past? You know, what could that little change have done for your relationship? It really asks that question. It has two major time jumps. I'm not going to say how long, but they really hit those notes on those time jumps and make you really feel the emotions after the time jumps, so you really know how the characters are feeling, how the actors are feeling in the certain scenes, and they do talk about those time jumps, which I really do appreciate. But yeah, the whole what if factor really got to me because I've always been thinking about that through life, you know. Just my little lives on this earth. I'm only 19, so I got a long ways to go, but I've always been thinking about, like, what if something changed in my life, like just a small change? How would that affect my friendships I have today, my job that I have today, my hobby of loving movies that I have today? Like some little changes. I may not even have a YouTube channel if something small changed back in the past. But what would that do for me in the future, you know? How would the choices that I make right now change what I do in the future? Like, I could end up in a totally different place in the future if I've never created a YouTube channel, never had the friendships I have right now. So, you know, the film really does convey that strong theme that I've always been a fan of in my life. I've always thought about it, but it's one of those themes that really gets to you because you can't change something in your life just because you want to, you know? Sometimes you're stuck in a position and there's no change to it. You got to just stick with it, but maybe that change will help in the future and maybe it won't, you know? You can think about what ifs all you want, but sometimes there's just no changing it. And the film really did hit hard with that certain aspect. Getting so sad thinking about it because it's just such a strong and such an emotional theme at that point, and it just hits so hard. And I really did love what they conveyed with this movie. The runtime is about an hour and 46 minutes. It's a pretty slow movie, but I wouldn't say that's a bad thing at all. It really does help you get with the characters, feel what they're feeling, feel the emotions that you're supposed to feel in the movie. So I actually appreciated that slow pace so you could actually connect with the movie. And you know, it's going at a fast pace because there is time jumps, but you're really really feeling those scenes of connection between the characters. So I like the pace a lot. I think it's a really well-paced movie and it needs to be slow, and it is slow. So I like that a lot. But overall, Past Lives is another A24 masterpiece. I would do a ranking on the channel, but I haven't seen all the A24 films. I've seen about half of them. So if you guys still want to see a ranking of the ones I've seen, I will do it, but I'm not planning on it for now. But A24 really is on a tear right now with Everything Everywhere last year, this one this year. And, you know, it might be too early to say, but I think I enjoyed Past Lives better than Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think it hit me way harder because of the what if theme of it, but it's just a special movie, you know? It really is a movie that you just need to go see and experience in the theaters, you know? And I think it's also a movie that you should experience blind because the less you know, I think the better it is, and the more it will hit you harder by the end of the movie. And that emotional payoff is kind of the best part. You get to really think about what you saw with this movie because some movies leave you empty, but they don't have you really thinking about it after. But this movie left me empty in a way where I really want to think about it, and I really want to think about my life choices after this movie, and think about how everything I do really does affect my later life, and it kind of affects my past life. So, you know, that's really the whole theme of the movie, your past lives, how it affected your future self and your past self. So overall, I'm going to give Past Lives a 5 out of 5. Yeah, it's pretty much perfect to me. It's not my top spot for the year, but it is high up there. I'm not going to tell you where it is right now because we're going to save that list for the end of the year, but I do want to say go see this movie. It's such a great movie. It's one of the best movies of the year so far. One of the best movies in the theater right now so far. So yeah, go see it before it leaves the theaters, and let me know what you guys thought if you have seen it. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.